I want to go straight to Inna Sovsun, who is a Ukrainian parliament member. She is currently helping Ukrainians evacuate in Kyiv, I believe. Inna, what is the situation where you are?
So I was moving towards this town of Vinnytsia. I was helping several people to get into that town. The road was extremely difficult and complicated because of the many checkpoints. It took us 2 hours just to buy gas. We were just standing in line and we couldn't buy gas for the car. And just now, when we moved out of the gas station, we read that the airport of the city of Vinnytsia was just bombarded from air by Russian aviation. So now, once we're done with this, I will have to figure out where actually I should take the people, because Vinnytsia doesn't seem to be a safe place anymore. So this is our reality right now. We never know when the next bombs will go down. We cannot really protect ourselves. People are extremely tense and concerned. There are many people moving into the western directions. There is not enough gas. People are scared. I'm seeing lots of cars with children in them. And people are just running away because they see that they cannot protect their loved ones from bombs falling on our head. And that is where this issue of no-fly zone, or at least ensuring that we have the fighter jets to ensure that, is so very crucial. It's actually a matter of survival for all of us now.
And you have been asking for that, and your president was meeting with members of the U.S. Congress yesterday to ask for that. And there are people who are starting to. I just spoke to the Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman, who said, things that seemed impossible 2 weeks ago seem imperative today, and things that seem impossible right today will seem possible 2 weeks from now. But can you survive? Can you continue the resistance with added support, added military support from Western countries, from NATO, from the EU, things like Stinger missiles and javelins?
Truly not. So the West needs to understand that Ukraine will fall in case we are not getting enough support. And if Ukraine falls, and that is, again, important to understand, if Ukraine falls, then Russia will move to the eastern border of Poland. And they already say that they don't like Poland in NATO. So I'm sure they will invade Poland. And then NATO will have to intervene. And that is why we're asking to do it now, to intervene on our territory. We are risking our lives anyways. We are about to lose them anyways. So let's try to save at least some of those lives, particularly the lives of children, because that is probably the most painful for me to see. Russians have, just from this morning, I know 3 confirmed deaths of children. In Korosteny, where they bombarded residential areas, there were victims among children. Like one child ended up with one leg torn out. So that 3-year-old just doesn't have a leg anymore because of the Russian bombs fallen from the planes. They have been shooting at people trying to evacuate from the town of Irpin, which you have just been reporting. They started shooting at people who were hoping for a green corridor to get the children out of that town. Those are cruel people. This is an evil empire, and we really need to fight back. But in order to do that, we just need to cover our sky. I believe you have seen how powerful the Ukrainian army is on the ground, but it cannot protect our civilians from bombs falling on their heads. That is just all we're asking for. We can fight on the ground. We're doing well on the ground. We actually managed to push them from Kharkiv. We managed to save Mykolaiv with greatest effort. We actually took some of the Russian tanks and other equipment, but we cannot really protect ourselves. So at least the fighter jets, Ukrainian pilots will be willing to fly those. We do have volunteers. There are people who will do that without direct involvement from NATO. But at least the fighter jets is just something that would really, really help us save the lives of the civilians so that we can continue our fight on the ground and actually win this.
Inna, we spoke, I think it was Monday or something. It seems like a lifetime ago. And you told me the story about how your father and mother had driven to the west of Poland. And then your mother called you to say that your father was coming back to Kyiv. And you asked him, why is he coming back? And he said he's coming back to fight. He's got some military training. Your father has difficulty walking. And he told you, if I can't walk, I will crawl. That's the kind of spirit we're hearing from people. Are you still seeing that kind of thing from the people who have decided to stay or return and fight?
Oh, so much. It's actually getting bigger because with Ukrainians seeing how cruel the Russians are, with them seeing how they're just killing Ukrainian children, with Ukrainians seeing what they're doing to my native city of Kharkiv, which is being just shelled for 7 days in a row. The city of Mariupol, People are sitting there without electricity, without any heating. There was a child who died because of pneumonia, because of sitting in those conditions, a 40 days old child who died because of that. Ukrainians are seeing that, and they realize that we cannot just all leave the country. We have to stay and fight. So we are having the spirit. My dad he is with the territorial defense. We are only having very sporadic contact with him. He is in the area where intense fightings are taking place. So we are extremely worried about him, just as I am about my boyfriend, just as I am about the safety of all the people here in Ukraine, because this is an extremely evil people that came to our land. And they're fighting not just against Ukrainians, they're actually fighting against the very idea of humanity and respect for human decency. So we are standing up. The resilience is even bigger. Look at the people who went to the streets to protest in southern towns that have been taken over by the Russians on the very first day of invasion. Just today in the morning, Novakhovka is a relatively small town, very south of Ukraine, very close to Crimea. Russians have taken over them in the first half day of war. It was really quick. It was really close to Crimea. They went to protest. 2,000 people went to protest there with tanks pointing at them. People did go to protest and to say that they want to live in independent Ukraine. So the resilience is actually growing, but also the fear for the lives of our loved ones is growing as well.
Yeah. Well, we pray for your boyfriend and your father and for your safety. Inna Sovsun is a Ukrainian parliament member and is the deputy chairman of the Holos Party in Ukraine. Thank you again for taking the time. We know you're in the midst of helping people evacuate. We want to just get your message out, but I know you need to get back to work. So thank you and stay safe.